There is one thing I've been asked about non-stop this week. Garmin 8.
This is the new Garmin watch coming out.
I've been asked non-stop. The Garmin 8, Mark. The Garmin 8's coming out. You're getting the Garmin 8. You've got to get the Garmin 8. Should I get the Garmin 8? I've got the Garmin 7. Do I need it? Okay, everyone, calm down. And I know why people are asking me. It's because my Garmin videos in the past have just been, just
one of the best reviews on the internet.
You get like a million views plus for me just saying, yeah, Garmin.
And yet Garmin didn't send us one.
Well, fair enough. That's the other question I get asked is, are Garmin you sending one?
I wish.
As though Garmin have ever sent me anything whatsoever. Yeah. Or Apple. I did a video where I said basically I really like the Garmin. I didn't like the Apple so much, but yeah, it's kind of grown on me. I've kind of changed my mind, which you're allowed to do, believe it or not. And people went nuts and said like, oh, have Apple paid you? Have Apple paid me? I wish Apple would pay me. Apple, if you're listening, pay me. I'll say anything you like. Right. Here's why I'm not getting the Garmin 8. I just don't see the point. It has reached, for me, the point that the iPhone has got to, where the advancements in models, one after the other, have become so, well, not just small in terms of improvement, but also just irrelevant in terms of benefits to me, that I cannot be bothered. I'll tell you when I get a Garmin, my next Garmin Fenix, or whatever they want to call it, because let's just summarize. Basically,
is it not the 8? Is the 8 not a Phoenix?
Yes. Okay. So previous to this,
is it Fenix?
It's spelled Fenix, pronounced Phoenix.
Right.
Which is handy because if it was pronounced Fenix, then that would confuse it with the Epics. You'd have the Epics and the Fenix. You'd be all over the place.
Way better.
No, it's not. Let's not change Garmin's naming policy. Let's leave it where it is. Right. Previously, you had the Garmin Epix Pro 2, which is basically top of the range watch.
That's what you've got.
Yes, I'm not wearing it right now. I'm wearing my IWC Top Gun. You had that, okay, which was basically top of the range Garmin with the sexy AMOLED display. You had that. I had that. Or you had the Fenix 7, which is top of the range watch. That's what you have with the MIP display. I previously said I prefer the old style display because it just looks hard and rugged and tool-like, and it's kind of, it's manly. Ladies, you can be, manly doesn't mean for men, it just means manly.
Mine just go rugged.
Thank you, rugged, okay. But I changed my mind. I think I changed my mind because I also was wearing the Apple Watch Ultra, which I like as well for when I want a phone on my wrist. And I kind of got used to that sexy display. So going from the Apple Watch Ultra, going back to the old Garmin Fenix 7 MIP display felt like an iMac to, I don't know, some sort of Amstrad computer you'd used in computer studies in 1988. Right. So I ended up settling on the sexy screen Epix Pro 2. Love it. Still have it, wear it all the time. Right. That's where I got to. What they've done now is they've basically said, we can't have Epix and Fenix. Let's do away with the Epix. We're only going to have the Fenix, but you get the Fenix with the AMOLED display now, or you get the Fenix with the old MIP display. So basically, you either want a crappy looking screen, but you don't mind because you get great battery life, or maybe you think it's rugged, or maybe you like computers from 1988. I don't know. Or you get the model with the cool and sexy display. Less battery, but looks cool and sexy. Here's what you should do. If you have money to burn, okay, and you want the watch, because I looked on the Garmin website today, go and get the 8. Pick sexy display or pick...
How much are we talking?
Over $1,000.
For a watch?
Yeah, over $1,000. Grand and a bit. I think I'll tell you exactly. Let's do it.
What does that compare to the Apple Watch?
I'll tell you what.
They're both over $1,000.
I wonder if people like DC Rainmaker ever watch my review videos and think, good grief, why is anybody watching? 1 million views. Why is anybody watching this moron? Like that guy, I watched his review video the other day. He knows more about the watches than Garmin though. And I don't even know what the price is.
How many views does he get on his reviews?
Oh, zillions. The guy's doing fine. Don't worry about him. Right, £1,039. So for you, the little 43mm one is 43mm now, not 42, 950. But still, it's $1,000. Let's call it $1,000.
And what does that compare to like the newest Apple Watch?
I don't know. We're not comparing to Apple Watch.
No, I'm just wondering if they're a similar price range.
Yes, it's going to cost you the thick end of $1,000 for anything sexy and nice in this kind of category. Right. If you're going to go and buy a new one, if you've got the money to spend now, go and get the 8. Because the difference in price between a brand new 8 and a brand new 7, you can still buy the 7, and you can still buy the Epix Pro 2, is negligible. It's a couple of £100 here or there. By the time you pay for parking to get into town, to go to the shop, and you bought yourself a donut on the way out, it's £1,000 is gone either way. So if you're going to go and buy a new one and you've got money to spend, and to be honest, Mark, I can afford £850, but I can't afford £1,000. No, that makes no sense. If you've got £850 and I'll tell you what, if you've got £850 but you can't afford £1,000, you can't afford £850 either. So go and buy yourself a G-Shock and put the rest of the money in your pension or something. Right. You go and buy the latest one because it's the latest one. Why would you not do that? Sexy screen, MIP screen, up to you. I don't care. My Epix Pro 2 with the AMOLED display lasts ages. I've run ultra marathons with the thing. It's been fine. But if you want battery life, it's going to last, I don't know, 19 days where you trek across Norway, get the MIP one. Right, that's easy. I don't know what moron would buy a brand new 7 or Epix Pro 2.
Now the 8's out.
Now the 8's out. It'd be nuts to do that. Go and get the 8. That isn't the issue, though. The issue, so those people are fine. The issue is if you've got a 7 or you've got an Epix Pro 2 or you're looking at the used market, what do you do? Because suddenly it's a bit different. The used market is going to, as it always does, get quite fruity right now because people, idiots, that have got an Epix Pro 2, like me, are just going to sell it for probably in the region of £500 or £600 and go and buy the latest one just because I've got money to spend. So there's going to be some floating around. Do you go and spend £600 on a brand new, almost? I mean, the thing's only going to be a year old or so. Like mine, if someone bought my Epix Pro 2 for £650, I can't, that is a better deal than going and buying a brand new Fenix 8, I think. So that's the question. Do you go and buy, if money's a bit of an issue, do you go and buy used or do you buy brand new? And if you've already got one, do you upgrade it? And I can't see why you'd go for the 8 in those circumstances. Here's what's better about it. Nothing. I mean, again, I watched DC Rainmaker going on and on about all these improvements, and he's right. I mean, the guy's absolutely right. All the things he's talking about are improvements. Like it does this a bit better, it does that a bit better, but they're so negligible. And at one point he said, "Oh, the interface has changed," and he showed how it changed, and it was basically like you push that button instead of that button, and it was what? I mean, it
takes you forever to get used to all the buttons do on a Garmin. And now they've changed them.
It makes no difference. The difference. Here's the big differences. The only real big differences that jumped out at me. First of all, you can go scuba diving with it. It's got a dive computer built into it. I don't know how big the market is for people wearing Garmin, top-end Garmin watches, and scuba diving and wanting to combine those two things into one device. I mean, clearly it exists as a market. I just don't know how big a market it is. I mean, and I don't scuba dive. To be honest, if you scuba dive, this conversation is not for you because I've got no interest in it, so I don't know. If, like most humans, you don't scuba dive because most people don't, it's just not what most people do, then that's an irrelevance anyway. Scuba diving dealt with. Apologies to all scuba divers. I got to be honest, if I was a scuba diver, I'd want like a big, sexy ass dive computer. I'd want two things. I'd either want a big, sexy, chunky dive computer. It looks like something for Star Trek. Or I want to go old school. I want to go Rolex, Submariner. I don't want a buoyancy thing. I just want the wetsuit. I want to look like I'm in what was the film? The Deep with Jacqueline Bisset. I want to look like I'm that. Old school, Peter Benchley. I'm not doing it with a Garmin. So that's divers dealt with. What's the other thing it does? Oh, the other thing it does, you can talk to it. Do you know what you can't do to it? Garmin, call my wife. You can't do that. Well, you can do that. You can do it, but it's as effective as I just did there. You're talking to nothing. It seems that what the watch will do, okay, is it will let you communicate with Bluetooth to your telephone, okay? What does that sound like? Tell me what it sounds like. It sounds like a pair of bloody earphones, okay? So if you're jogging with a pair of shocks, as I have here, or a pair of AirPods or anything that Bluetooth, when the phone rings and you listen to your music, you can stop your music and you can just take a call. And the quality's good. It works perfectly. It's worked for years. Well, now you don't need to do that. You can just push a button on your watch and talk into your watch. And the demonstration that DC Rainmaker gave it made it sound like the technology is from 1988. It was ridiculous. It was kind of crackly and useless. But even if it was great, it's not a huge feature. And are most people not jogging with a pair of earphones? I don't know. It doesn't do what I wanted that to do. For example, he at one point, he spoke to it and used it to talk to the actual watch. So this wasn't a Bluetooth communication with his phone, which is basically what earpods do. This was actually talking to the phone, the watch. And it reminded me of what GoPros do. So on a GoPro, you have the option, GoPro camera, you have the option of talking to the camera. You can say, GoPro, take a picture, or GoPro, start recording. And on the packet, when you buy it, it's like this kind of big thing, like, talk to the GoPro. In reality, you never do it. Now, there's someone out there going, now, hang on, Mark, I do, because...
A bit like in cars where it was like that, our car doesn't do it, but our old car did it, where you can do this to do the volume, or smush your hand to change the next track.
Yes, you wave your hand on a BMW. You wave your hand in front of the display thing, and it sees you waving your hand.
It's more annoying than anything else.
It's annoying because every time you try and give the finger to some driver that's annoyed you, it turns the volume up. It was stupid. Never used it. Dumb. And the same on a GoPro. On a GoPro, it taught, hello GoPro, turn on. Never push the bloody button. I mean, a GoPro, it's in your hand. Push the button. I never used it. I use GoPro all the time. Never used that. So DC Rainmaker, he describes how you can tell the watch to,
Garmin.
Start
an activity.
Yeah, exactly. Literally does that. Garmin, start a run, okay? And it kind of cycles through this little kind of process where it thinks, what did I hear? And then it does it for you. At the same time, split screen, he also just starts a run by pushing the 2 buttons required to start a run. And obviously it's instantaneous. And obviously the watch is normally, within reach because it's traditionally attached to you. So it just renders that completely useless. I don't know who's ever going to do that.
Although, if you're a one-handed person,
oh my goodness,
or only one arm, works pretty well for you.
Yes, I have to admit, this review, if we can call that this, is not going to appeal to one-handed scuba divers. I mean, but I still think we've got most of the market paying attention. So that's a long-winded way of answering your question. Am I going to get the new Garmin Epics? No, not Epics. What the hell is this thing even called? Fenix 8? No. But maybe if I decide to just make a video about it, I don't need it personally because
So does that mean you'll get the little one and I can have it?
Yeah, but I genuinely don't know what I'd say about the thing. I don't know what I'd say about it. It basically, if I get the AMOLED display, it's basically my Epix Pro Gen 2 in all but name. Or you go scuba diving, Mark. Don't scuba dive. You can talk to it. I'm not a moron. It can take your phone calls. Yeah, like a pair of earphones can. And actually, if I want my phone with me, I'm wearing my Apple Watch Ultra anyway. So I do not see the value. So yeah, if you are in the market for something brand new, you've got $1,000 to burn, crack on, enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. It's a great watch. It's the best watch you can get probably for sports. But if you've already got a 7 or an Epix 2, keep it. And if you haven't got $1,000 to spend, drop 650 quid, maybe 700 quid on the old model. Or even better, get a Fenix 6. I reckon it peaked with the 6. My Fenix 6 was amazing. I don't really know. I mean, touchscreen, you got the touchscreen. Didn't really use the touchscreen that much either.
No, I don't think I ever use it.
No, you never use it. No.
The only time I use it is when my screen occasionally just goes wrong. And
okay, there you go. We are reviewing the Garmin Fenix 8 by saying go buy a Garmin Fenix 6. Get the best one you can, the best condition one you can use. It's probably going to cost you 400 quid and you will be a happy, happy bunny. Yeah, there's not much else to say about that. I mean, it's just, it's like, what are we on here? What is this? This is an iPhone. We looked this up the other day, didn't we? What are we, 13, 14?
13.
And now isn't the 16 coming out soon?
Isn't the 15 coming out?
My point is we are way behind. No, I'm pretty sure 16 is coming out soon. I don't know. That's my point, actually. We gave up updating our iPhones religiously at whatever this is, the 13. Because after that, the benefits became just so incrementally small that it just wasn't worth it. I always got a better camera, Mark. Has it got a better camera? It's not as good as my DSLR. I mean,
but not many people like you carry that around with them.
No, but what they carry? No, they're not. But what are they carrying their phone around with them for? Just to photograph random nonsense in the street? It doesn't need to be amazing.
Yes, lots of people do that.
Yes, but they don't. Right, they do. And my point is, it doesn't need to be the best camera in the world. It just needs to be a great camera, and it's a great camera on this phone. I don't know what the advanced. Again, when I upgrade my iPhone, it'll be because I can put it on the desk and a hologram of like Princess Leia, not necessarily, obviously Princess Leia's not going to be calling me. She's dead and not even real. A hologram appears and says, you know, that's how my communication is happening. It's not FaceTime, it's hologram time. Mark, you know,
would that just be very annoying because you'd have to put your phone on something flat every time you would have a phone call?
If I could put my phone on something flat and in return a hologram of the person I'm talking to popped up, Princess Leia style, Star Wars, if you've not seen it, and spoke to me, I'm doing that every time, no problem. But it can't, so I'm not upgrading my iPhone, and I can't leave my phone at home and make a telephone call from my Garmin. That's why I'm not upgrading my Garmin.
So I'm just upgrading my phone in September and you're not.
Okay, let's move on.